What's going on YouTube? JT's Reborn here, and welcome back to another DC Comics news and update-esque video. So, I'm a little tardy to the party on this one. I did try to record a video on this a few days ago, but for whatever reason, YouTube claimed it. So, now I'm making it now. A few days have passed. I've had a lot of time to process this news. And, yeah. So, this is the big news that dropped 2 days ago. DC shocker, James Gunn, Peter Safran to lead film, TV, and animation division exclusive. So, a lot of stuff is changing at DC. The hierarchy of power in the DC universe really is changing. The Rock told us, and he was right. So, in a stunning turn of events, filmmaker James Gunn and producer Peter Safran have been tapped to lead DC's film, TV, and animation efforts as co-chairs and co-CEOs of DC Studios, a newly formed division at Warner Brothers that will replace DC Films. So, Walter Hamada has gotten the boot out of there. For whatever reason, he didn't want Superman in the movies, which is really dumb. He had some success, but, he just wasn't the right fit for DC, given the track record that's been going on. Didn't hate the guy like some people do, but, it could have been a lot better. At least we got some interesting projects in the time frame, so... But, so Walter Hamada, not there very long. I think he came in, 2018, 4 years, boom. DC's been kind of a crazy place as of late, in terms of the stuff. Get away from me, you stupid ad. But now I think this is good. They're taking kind of the Pixar model approach where they have, some filmmakers and that kind of as, the heads of this thing, and then they kind of bring in the creatives to kind of fill out the overall story for the DC universe. Now, this isn't going to mean that they're going to be taking over for things such as, Joker and the Batman. I think they won't be really overseeing that. I think Joker is pretty much... they're filming that thing, I think, next month. So that movie's pretty much set in stone. It's going to happen. James Gunn and then, I guess, are going to take over November 1st, even though James Gunn's still working on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. But pretty much after that, he's going to be exclusive to DC for the next couple years. So, yeah, this is really interesting stuff. I'm really surprised by the choice here, but I think it's a smart move that they got two people involved. Now, Peter Safran, he's a very successful producer. He's done things like the Conjuring films. He's produced a lot of DC films. He has made a lot of money for Warner Brothers. I mean, some people seem to forget that the Conjuring universe, I think, is the highest grossing horror franchise of all time. Even the lowest grossing film, which I think was Curse of La Llorona, still made over $100 million on a really small budget. Horror makes profit. And the Conjuring universe, that makes a lot of money for Warner Brothers and New Line. So he's going to be handling the business aspect. James Gunn's going to be handling the creative aspect. I think he's going to do a good job bringing in some filmmakers, because he's coming from a filmmaker perspective, which is very smart, to get somebody in there for the creative aspects. And, James Gunn's DC stuff I've actually enjoyed more than his Marvel stuff, even though I like the first Guardians of the Galaxy. Second one, not so much. I did enjoy some of the Scooby-Doo movies, though, that he wrote, but a lot of the flaws were mostly in the directing, which was Raja Gosnell, but he didn't direct those ones, but I still enjoyed the first one, at least. But yeah, I really enjoyed the Suicide Squad, and I had a lot of fun with Peacemaker, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he does. But even then, that doesn't mean James Gunn's going to be the one, okay, it's just going to be my vision for everything going forward. I think he understands where his strengths and weaknesses are, and he's going to bring in somebody else to, do things. I think he even turned down Superman. The studio offered that to him, but he realized he wasn't really a fit for that, which, if you understand your strengths and weaknesses, it's good to, be look, this isn't for me. I'm going to try and focus on kind of the smaller characters, and I think that's a good idea. If you can kind of, lead, the story aspects and get some creative stuff and get a good vision for DC going forward, I'm actually looking forward to seeing what he's able to bring to it. I know some people are worried, but let's face it, he's not going to be directing everything. It's not going to 100% be him behind the camera and everything. Yeah, he'll still direct. He's going to write and direct all of Peacemaker Season 2, which is good, because I really enjoyed Peacemaker, actually, more than the Suicide Squad itself, which was a really surprising show, believe it or not. Not every joke worked, but, I had a lot of fun with Peacemaker. It was a nice surprise. So yeah, like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing what James Gunn does. Peter Safran will be handling the business aspect. They're doing their 10-year plan thing. I know they just released Black Adam, which so far is actually doing well at the box office, according to reports and that. So, and of course, Henry Cavill just announced that he's back as Superman for the long haul. And it's a lot of interesting news coming out for DC. It's kind of funny too, Marvel drops the Ant-Man 3 trailer, of the same exact time Henry Cavill announces, hey, guess what, I'm back as Superman, which got more attention. They released the trailer for the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, and what happens? James Gunn is announced as the head of DC Studios. That's But yeah, no, November 1st. So basically, the creative decisions, like some of the other movies are locked, but like kind of the future and stuff is kind of happening afterwards. It's very interesting. I think Gunn actually has read a lot of the source material, so he respects the artist. So I know that about him, at least as a filmmaker. So if he can bring in some really good directors in that to make this stuff that like honors like the characters and their legacy, I'm all for it. I think he understands to like just kind of let filmmakers do what they do, but bringing in the right people for to have their own unique creative voices to tell these different stories. That's the smart option. You got to have somebody who knows and understands the material to do a good job. So who knows what's going to happen next? I know they're quietly working on that Superman movie, which is ridiculous how we haven't had a solo Superman movie in almost 10 years now. But if it were up to me, I'd say get Brad Bird to direct the next Superman movie. I think that's a smart choice. He understands heroes, really loves Superman. I mean, look at Iron Giant, like that whole thing. Like you can see the love that he has for Superman throughout that whole movie. And Incredibles 1 and 2 are some of the best superhero movies ever made. I think Brad, and plus he's done live action too. It's not like he's strictly just done animation. I think Brad Bird is the right choice to direct a Superman movie. If not him, I think Christopher McQuarrie is another name that's been thrown around there because he's worked with Henry Cavill before. I think McQuarrie, given that he is a talented filmmaker, writer, and director. But then again, he's kind of busy working with Tom Cruise right now, so I don't know if he'd be up for making the next Superman movie. But I think he would make a damn good one. I am looking forward to seeing what he does with Mission Impossible next. But I still think Brad Bird is the way to go for the next Superman movie. You need a smart filmmaker. You need somebody who's competent. And you need somebody who loves Superman. And it's very well showcased that Brad Bird loves superheroes and Superman in his movies. And I think he would be the right choice to direct the next Superman movie. But that's getting off topic. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. I hope James Gunn brings in the right people to do the right stuff and leads DC down a path of prosperity, because I think now is the time to strike while the iron's hot. Black Adam, it's entertaining, not amazing or anything like that, but I think like DC the past few years has had a lot more interesting movies come out than pre this little merger. Yeah, they did the Nolan trilogy, but then kind of after that we had some movies like Suicide Squad, the first one, which wasn't, and then obviously they had the fiasco with the 2017 version of Justice League and that. But they had some things like Wonder Woman, and then they had hits like Aquaman, and then my favorite in this universe is still Shazam. I think Shazam is an excellent movie, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the sequel brings. And I still enjoy Man of Steel too. BVS I think is okay, but I think we need like a stronger vision. We need fresh takes. I don't think they should bring back Zack Snyder. I think he should stick with doing his Netflix stuff. He did 3 movies, which, good for him. But I think it's time to take it a little bit more of a fresher direction. A little less divisive, if you will. So, yeah, I think he's good at Netflix right now. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does there. But as it stands, I think we need some new creatives involved. And you just got to get the characters right. And also, please get the damn Bat family on screen. The fact that we have the Batman universe with Matt Reeves, still no Robin or anything like that, and then the DCEU, we still don't have the Bat family. Finally, we're going to get something with Batgirl, and then it ends up getting canceled. So it's like, can we just get the Bat family back? I mean, and then the Superman family, and just expanding out the rosters of these other characters and that, or just the fact that we can't get, like, heroes and, like, their sidekicks and, like, next of kin and that. I just think that's utterly ridiculous at this point. But hopefully, that'll start to change now. So, yep, that's all I just wanted to say. This is a quick video on the whole thing. For those who are wondering my thoughts, I am looking forward to seeing what James Gunn does. It's going to take a little time to see the results of it all, but I'm hoping for good things for DC and their film, TV, and animation. They got a lot of stuff on TV right now. Titans is coming out. Doom Patrol's coming out. And then animation, hopefully they expand on that a little bit more. We get better animated films in the process too. I enjoyed Super Pets and I enjoyed the Super Sons movie, but outside of that, I haven't really enjoyed as much of DC animation as I would have liked as of late. But hopefully Gunn and that can bring in some good like creative things. And also get some of the comic book writers that are like familiar with the characters involved too. And I know Gunn knows the writers and that, so I would assume he can maybe like use some of his pull to kind of get some other people involved. But I am looking forward to seeing what he does. So there you go. That's all I got to say. Be sure to like this video, share it with friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content, comment, all that stuff. And I will talk to you all later on. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace.